SubX.News on the spot reporting here. We're still over at 1325 South Kedzie. This is an abandoned CHA development. That's Kedzie, that's going southbound. It's 1325. So you've seen the shooter was here and he shot the guy over by those cars where I showed you the video earlier. Right there. See that there? I don't know how many shots that is. Can you guys count? I see maybe 9. So he had maybe a 9-round clip, 10-round clip. There you go. See that? SubX.News on the spot reporting. So the guy was standing here and he shot at the guys that were sitting by the cars over there. You see that there? SubX.News on the spot reporting. Happened about an hour and a half ago. So during the rush hour. It's a nice day. Guys were just hanging out in the back. Older person, 65 years old, hanging. Not in no place. Not doing anything wrong. And he got shot at. There you go. That's what happens in the city of Chicago. There was also a homicide on 63rd and Drexel. Earlier in the day, there was a double homicide last night. There was a lot of bad things. A couple of people were stabbed on the train. All kinds of stuff happened. Be safe, be careful. SubX.News on the spot reporting down here on the south side of Chicago. There you go. See that there? That's where the shooting came from. See that? Let me zoom it in for you there, right? That's the shot. What is that, 9 shots or so there? There you go. So the guys, let's show you if I can show you here. You seen the guys where I was earlier. There's a whole bunch of cars parked. They had a cooler there. They were relaxing. They weren't doing nothing wrong. There you go. Again, 1525 South Kedzie shootings. There you go. So the guy was standing there shooting at the people. That's what happened. Now, what did he use? Did he use a pistol? Did he use a rifle? Because that's a long way to shoot there. You know what I'm talking about? Because they're over by those cars over there. And this is an abandoned CHA building, by the way. So, well, we showed you earlier that the park district is gating off parks when we have abandoned buildings with homeless people in the tent. We have homeless people in the tent on Lakeshore. They put gates for people, regular people, to keep them out and charge them money. The person was shot on 63rd and Drexel. And then we got abandoned buildings here where homeless people can stay. And people are creeping around the corner. They're shooting at people. There you go, man. SubX.News. We're not making this up. You're watching it with me. You're experiencing this with me. That's on the spot reporting. That's what you're doing, man. That's the crime scene right there. So he was creeping around the corner there, it looks like, right? A lot of bad stuff happening. And looks like about 10 rounds went off right here on the north end of an abandoned CHA building at 1525 South Kedzie, and he shot towards some guys that were sitting by their cars in the alley. Yeah. That's bullets there. This ain't no joke. And you see, the first thing when we get on scene, the cops are hostile to us. We're not the criminals. Then they try to say that I'm creating the conflict when I'm live on TV, right? See, did they prevent this crime? Will they solve this crime? I don't think they will. crime scene. There you go. You getting it now, right? Marietta? They don't get the crooks, and then when the crooks do something, they blame us. They say it's our fault that we didn't do something, and then they yell at us, and then you see, how many cops did you see back there? How many were back there? I don't know, 20, 30 of them standing around laughing and joking while somebody just got shot. An old guy got shot, laughing and joking, right? Messing with a reporter, right? Back there. There's some gentrification going on here, I think. They're all back there. Don't you see them right there? No, they're gone. The shooters are gone. The shooters, Dave, were right here. What happened is, it's a long way for me to walk. I'll show you. So, this is an abandoned CHA building in North Lawndale, right? That's an alley there with a bunch of cars and coolers, and old dudes were hanging there. That coolers. So it looks like somebody went over here and creeped around this corner here and was shooting that way, south. That's southbound. They shot that way towards some guys that were sitting by their cars. That's what happened. This is an abandoned CHA. The guys are gone, man. They fled. I mean, you can park your car right here and just cut out, right? That's what they did. There you go. So they're gone. I mean, there's pod cameras. There's all kinds of stuff all around in these neighborhoods. They won't catch this guy. There you go. SubX.News on the spot reporting. Crime scene. 1525 South Kedzie. This building, there you go. That's the building. It happened in the back. I already showed the back, right? You know what? Maybe I should walk around. Right? So this is where the shooting happened. Shot that way, right? This is 1525 South Kedzie, right? It's a CHA building. I'll show you where the shooting happened. All right, there you go. It's an abandoned CHA. Oh, there's somebody up in there. Might be abandoned, might not be. I don't know. Whatever, but it looks abandoned. That is the CHA building. See that there? So the shooting happened there, right? I'm going south on Kedzie. This is the address of this is 1525 South Kedzie. It's the CHA building, North Lawndale. It's all locked up. See that there? The viewers are asking where they're shooting at.
Looks like they executed him. One bullet casing right over there in the front where the chair's knocked over, so they shot around the corner and came up and finished it.
So they shot him and then finished him.
Wow,
that's what I heard. And there's a bullet hole in that car. You know that one, right? In that second,
the black one?
Not the sedan, the SUV. There's a bullet hole in that, so I don't know if you can catch that. I heard the text saying there's a bullet hole in that car there somewhere. So I don't know if you can see it, right? All right. See, so this is the back of the building. That's where the shooting started, over there, right? So they shot this way. And then there's a bullet casing right down there. See that there? I don't know if you can see it. He's taking a picture over there, right? I'll show you. I'm not going to show what people do here, right? So shooting started way over there. Shot this way. These guys are hanging out here relaxing in the summer. They're not doing nothing. This is an alley. They ain't doing nothing. They're relaxing. This is a residential area. Ain't nothing going on here. Right? And then the guy gets shot up over here, right? There's the tech, right? So what the other news guy said is that it happened And there's another bullet casing over there. Right. So we just showed you over there, right? So that's where it started. These guys were just hanging here. They ain't doing nothing, minding their own business. Somebody started shooting from over there. Then they came here, and there's a bullet casing over there, at least one. All right, so you got it? There you go. Yeah. So this car is somehow involved. See that there? There you go. There's a bullet casing right on the other side of that car over there. You got it, everybody? So these guys were just minding their own business. That's all this was about. That's all it was. Ain't nobody bothering nobody back here. We're just relaxing, man. Old guy, 65-year-old guy. Relaxing. They ain't on the street. They ain't doing nothing. Alrighty. You guys got the story. Talk to you later. Bye. Shoot, there's the bullet casing you can see over there.